All right. Well, even though they made us wait for us, our game 2 is here on the horizon. We had a great off week. Really pleased with the mentality of our players and their preparation. For this next step and the Kansas game here on Saturday. I thought that they were very mature in their focus, and we really tried to have a great attention to detail in our improvement as a football team. Coming off the first game, I thought that I really liked how the guys approached our preparation. I thought we started fast. We had a little lull there in the second half. Offensively, where I don't think our tempo was playing to where we needed to, so we've had a great focus on that here this past week in practice, and really have enjoyed the guys' mentality and our preparation. This week we have a Power 5 opponent coming into town. Kansas is a much improved football team from where they've been. They had the second year they're going in their second year with their new coaching staff. They started off first game, had a great victory, scored a lot of points, and then this last week they had a little setback. They turned the ball over, had a couple of self-inflicted mistakes, and came up on the short end. We know that they're going to come into our place with a great intensity and focus on improving, and we know we got a tremendous challenge at hand. So we're excited about this week. We're excited about getting back out there in the field of Liberty Bowl. Any questions?
Was there anything that you learned about your team in this first game that maybe you didn't know beforehand?
I thought it was great getting to see a lot of the first timers in action. You sit there and look. We had, especially offensively, a lot of guys that had never seen live game action. I know Tony Pollard was a guy that really stood out to me. Tony made plays, and not only offensively with a couple big catches, but also in special teams. I thought he did a great job in the return game. He blocked a punt. Seeing guys that you're really not sure how they're going to perform when the lights come on. I thought we had a nice first showing. Joey Magnifico got his first college catch. John Williams. Darrell Henderson with 2 touchdowns. That was a pleasure to see. I like the way our guys prepared. That's something you can simulate all that you want, but for them to understand the importance of a Friday walkthrough for how we're preparing there on game day. I thought the guys came out ready to play. I love the intensity, and we just have to continue to clean up some of the things throughout the game, making sure that we're progressing throughout the matchup.
With the bye, do you get to cheat a little bit and spend a little more time studying film or your opponent with Kansas than you normally would?
We did, and but really at this point early in the season, I mean, most of the early opponents you're going to have a pretty good beat on, and we spent time this summer studying Kansas, much as with our first 3 or 4 opponents. We had a lot of time this summer that we tried to put together a preliminary game plan. For us, it was really focusing on who we are. Trying to make sure that we have a better understanding of what we're good at. We've implemented a lot of schemes. We tried to tie those schemes to the personnel that we have, but as each day goes by, we have a better understanding of what our personnel is good at, where we need to improve, and then making sure that we're putting them in a great situation to be successful. So this last week was a big focus on fundamentals. We did get an introduction to Kansas. Really on Thursday, we spent a little bit more time with our scouts, getting to show some of their base looks and base plays there offensively. But really the biggest thing we have to focus on is ourselves and making sure that we're putting ourselves in a great position with our fundamentals and then our overall execution.
Most of the time you get your bye middle, late year, you can self-evaluate, do those sorts of things. I know you're new, so maybe it was a benefit to have it earlier. How do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, just like kind of tell the players, we can only control what we can control. We have no say in when our bye week shows up, so we have to maximize it, whether it was late in the year or early, like it occurred. With us being a first-year staff, I think we can definitely take the positives out of it because it gives us another opportunity to continue to get to know each other, to continue to evaluate where we are here early in the season. Now we're going to have to be smart later in the year of how we prepare, and we'll have to get to that one down the road. But I thought our guys' mentality, I thought they did a good job with their overall mindset, and after the game we were able to sit there as a team, and even though there were a lot of good things to pull out of week one, there's a lot of improvement, and I don't think anybody was satisfied with how we played. There were some bright spots, but man, we've got to do a better job finishing defensively. We got to do a better job offensively, just with our efficiency, not turning the ball over, making sure that that we're able to establish the run. There were a lot of things that we could work on, and I thought the guys came out and really improved this past week.
As far as the run game goes, Kansas had some difficulty with Ohio, and Memphis did not run the ball really very well against the first opponent. What kind of things did you do during that off week, and you look to do this week to try to shore up and get guys like Norvell and the rest of the crew?
Well, just focus on our fundamentals. I think that that's first time. If there's ever something that we come out of a game where we maybe have not had a level of success that we were hoping for, we first have to look at ourselves. What can we do better from a fundamental or a scheme standpoint to put our guys in a better situation. On the same hand, we got to be able to take what the defense gives us. Coming out of the game, and I think in the first quarter we might have had 2 or 3 yards rushing, but we had 22 points because we were throwing the ball. They were trying to take away the run. Some of those parts in the second half, we were really trying to force the run, sometimes into bad numbers, just to get that established a little bit and just overall mindset. Which you see later in the fourth quarter, we were able to hit a couple of bigger runs. We were able to break a couple things. So. I don't get too caught up on the overall numbers with it because we got to take what the defense gives us. But really we went back to just a base focus on our fundamentals, and if we continue to do that, I think that's going to show up well for us on Saturday.
Mike, you talked about that first game, wanting to run a lot of guys on the offensive line, but now last week in practice it seemed like you maybe decided on guys. Have you decided like this is the 5 guys we're going to go with because of chemistry issues going the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was a reason why the first 5 guys went out on the game against SEMO because they had prepared the best. They had put themselves in a position to be our starting offensive line, and you've got to earn the right to play here. And in our preparation and our performance, you're going to get evaluated by every game, by every day at practice. And so I've been pleased with the guys this last week of the mentality of which we've approached practice with the 5 guys up front. And I think it is a positive that we have multiple guys. We got 7 guys that played in the game last week. We have versatility in some of the guys up front that can play different positions. And so I feel good about where we're at, but we can't settle just because in week 2 you got 5 guys that are performing at a certain level saying, oh, that's our 5 for chemistry reasons moving forward. Everybody's got to continue to compete. Everybody's got to continue to get better. We're excited. Zach Collins is a guy that he practiced yesterday in full pads for the first time, and he's going to push and he's going to add some talent and depth to the guys up front. So we're going to continue to push that, whether it's week 2 in the season or it's week 10 in the season. There's a high standard of expectation that's going to get you on the field, and then you've got to perform at that level as well.
Do you want to play 7 or 8 strictly because of pace?
I think that does it help if you can? Yes, it does. I know in the past there's been I go back and watch film of Memphis the last 2 years. They've played a lot of different lineups up front. It's kind of the first couple of years within a new system of playing fast. Ideally would you like to have 5 guys that can play 80, 85 snaps and be at the top level on every one of those? Well, that'd be great. But sometimes that just doesn't work out. And so, to be able to have 6, 7, 8 guys that can play, that shows the depth of what we can have, but it also gives us an opportunity to be fresh if when you're sitting there and you're getting to those higher play counts.
What can you tell us about Sam Kraft's availability going forward?
I'll let you know probably a little more tomorrow. Sam is still yet to practice full go with us. he's pushing, he's training, he's rehabbing. But I've been really pleased with Tony Pollard and the job that he's done in replacing him. I thought Tony played at an exceptionally high level. We're trying to get Sam back out there to help with the availability of all of our skill players. But I'm really pleased with where Tony's come, and so hopefully we'll get Sam back out practicing this week.
Is it a rarity to have that many, like Sam, Tony, Daryl, all of those guys are kind of versatile tailback, or they can receive as well? It seems like you guys have a lot of talent in that area of the offense.
Well, that's something that that helps us moving forward, because we feel like we do have 5 or 6 backs that can do a variety of things. I mean, you see Dorland, last week, Dorland is primarily in the backfield, a primary ball carrier, but he scored a touchdown last week, catching the ball, free releasing, and so having our backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield, that gives us another opportunity for them to get touches. This offense is truly built for playmakers. So we want to be able to showcase all the skills and talents that they have, and the more things we can do with them, the better opportunity we have to be able to be successful. And so I like where we are at running back. That's a position that usually you're going to have guys as the season goes on that will get banged up because of just the workload that they have. So you have to have that depth, and you have to have guys that are ready to either carry the ball 20 times or be able to catch it 5 to 10 times out of the backfield.
Coach, we saw the swinging gate 2-point conversion there on the opening drive. What was the thought process behind that, and just in terms of general trickery, I guess, on the offensive side, how much do you try to work that in?
Well, I mean, we talked to our guys. We knew that, after the first time we scored an offensive touchdown, we wanted to get in that formation, and if they gave us a look that we were hoping for, then we were going to go for it. And sometimes just 1 point can make a big difference in a game. And so if we have a look that we feel very confident in, we're going to force the defense to defend every situation. And whether that's a 2-point play, whether that's a 1st and 10 play, we want to make sure that we're using everything that we have as a football team to maximize the points we can score, and that it got it on film early, so that's just something that teams moving forward will have to account for. And if they're taking maybe 5 minutes out of their normal practice day to work on that, then it's 5 less minutes they're spending on somewhere else. And so we're going to have that each week. I like running specials. I like having some different tricks within the offense, and the more you're able to work them, and we work them a ton in practice, the better execution you're going to have. And so I feel very confident about where we're at and the things we can use moving forward.
Like with football being such a big part of your life for so long, if you're being honest, how tough was a Saturday, even though you didn't have a game? How tough was it for you as the coach to not have a game to play, especially this early in the season?
I tell you, I'm so ready to get back on the field. You get the first game, you're able to see a lot of different things. You want to get out there immediately and go get another run at it. Go have an opportunity to see that growth and development. Probably the way the guys prepared last week, it helped. Our coaching staff, we were out recruiting there most of Friday, got back Saturday, and I spent the better part of Saturday watching games and running through situations. That's something I actually enjoy doing when I'm not out there coaching. I love watching live games, and I put myself in those situations, whether it's clock management, whether it's just different situations, because that gives me reps, and that gives me an opportunity to make sure that I'm preparing for whenever we might see that situation, later on this year. And so I tried to maximize my Saturday by doing that, and it was fun watching a couple different teams, and obviously we got a chance to watch Kansas a little bit in live action, and so I thought we tried to maximize our day, but it's definitely tough when you're not out there actually getting to coach.
When you see Ohio get 329 yards running, is that because they took advantage of what Kansas was giving them, or do you see something you can exploit there?
I think it's Ohio had a great game plan, for what they were trying to accomplish running the football. I think there was a couple probably mistakes. If you listen to the Kansas coaching staff, just things that a couple plays they wish they would have had back. But there's no doubt, this Kansas team we're playing is an improved football team. They are a team that they're talented up on the defensive front. I think that a lot of true sophomores that are playing with them. They have, last year a lot of guys, they played a lot of young players, and they got that experience through last season. They came out in game one, were extremely dominant. Game two, there was a couple setbacks. I think when you look at it, they had, I want to say 4 turnovers, 2 muff kicks or 2 muff punts, a block punt, and then an interception throw. That put their defense in a tough situation, and so I know that's something that they're working to get corrected. And this is a talented group that's coming in, and so our main thing is we got to focus on our schemes, our personnel, our game plan. But then we got to go out there and execute. We got to make sure that we're not putting putting ourselves in a bad position by giving them a short field or making mistakes that cost us. And I can tell you, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be one that you got two quality opponents going against each other. One that's coming off a game where they didn't feel like they played to the best of their ability, and so we know we're going to get their best shot coming in Saturday.